Hey guys, it's Ron Bass with another edition of Soar High Personal Development, your source for inspiration. Okay, joining us today is our old favorite, Mr. Davin Hunley.
That's me.
with an I, by the way. Over in this corner, yeah, like talking about the fights, right? In this corner, and in this corner, is Nick Peoples.
I knew he was going to forget. I knew he was
AKA
Heist
Nick
Nick.
Heist. Nick's an artist with our...
Heist Nick, not
Heist
Nick.
Nick, excuse me. My bad.
Nick Heist.
Heist Nick. Nick's an artist with our label, our Soar High Records label, and upcoming artist.
Up-and-coming superstar.
Up-and-coming superstar. And over in this corner,
Another up-and-coming superstar.
another up-and-coming superstar.
Yes,
An
sir.
artist also with our Soar High label. This is Mr.
Bobby Robinson.
Bobby Robinson, a.k.a.
Calico.
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 Yes, sir.
Calico.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, today, we're going to talk about a subject that I think is pretty interesting. It's about being judgmental.
Mm.
It's about, being critical of other people. And we all do it. And we know people that are all about that. And we're going to get into the discussion of why is that the case? Why are people so judgmental of other people? I think we should focus on ourselves, not on other people, because there's an old saying, you can't push a rope. People are just who they are. You can encourage, you can influence, you can set an example, but in the end, really, I hate to say it, people are just going to be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
There's an old saying, let people, if people want help, give them a hand. If they're going down or they don't want help, let them go, man, because they're just going to bring you down with them.
Yep.
I'm all about helping anybody that wants to be helped, but not if they're not sincere about it. It's just not healthy for us, for the people that are straight, that are moving forward, that are ambitious, that are progressive. We want to help everybody. That's what this podcast is all about. Soar High Personal Development as a business, as an entity, as a concept is all about influencing and helping people. But you can't help somebody that don't want to help themselves. And we see it every day, all day long. Well, all of us have friends and family members. We just, we know people like that. And there's nothing we can really do about it unless they want the help. They want the help, then we can help them. So I say, live and let live. And so now I ask the question, I want you guys to chime in, is why are we so critical of other people? What makes us be like that? Why are we, really it's a form of discrimination, I think. Why do we want to put other people down? And I have my own theory about that. My theory is, it's not theory, it's probably a law of psychology. It makes us feel better about ourselves if we're critical of others. Because if we have a low self-image, the only way to pump ourselves up is to think that we're more important than others.
Yeah.
It makes us feel better about ourselves. And that's a bad way to go. Yeah. But at any rate, what do you guys have to say? Mr. Davin?
Man, I remember growing up, I was always pretty judgmental of people, but it's because of the people I was around. They kind of taught me to be judgmental. It was like, oh, they're bad because they have tattoos, or
What is the thing about tattoos, by the way? Why is that so important to people?
Okay, so this is what I originally learned was, so I grew up with two Caucasian grandparents, and they're older, they're about your age, and they always associated it with biker gangs and gangs and gangsters and thugs.
Are you trying to say that you're black?
I know, right?
I never saw you as black. But I don't see anybody's color.
Exactly.
But no, you're pretty light skinned if you're black.
I am light skinned.
Yeah, I'm just saying to you that I never knew that. But it doesn't matter anyway. Another example of discrimination, how people are so critical. I'm Jewish, so Jews and blacks. My mother told me, she said, honey, they don't like the Jews, they don't like the blacks. I remember that growing up my whole life.
Facts.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I identify with people that are black.
And the Spanish, the Mexicans.
The Mexicans, another group, the Hispanics.
The Hispanics.
But you know what about Hispanics? They're natural fighters.
They are.
Being in the fight business, I can tell you, man, those guys, they don't play.
No.
They
are something, man.
They can take a hit.
For real.
And latch out.
For real.
Too. Yeah.
Heart. They got heart, man.
Oh, yeah.
Sir? Tattoos.
Yeah, so I came up, thinking that tattoos were something that you should judge people by. If you have tattoos, you're automatically a thug. That's what I was put into my brain. I don't believe that now. Obviously, everybody has tattoos besides me.
Except me.
And yeah, we are the only two that don't have tattoos. So, and these are the nicest guys I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
So, I think it goes back to the environment that
Well, I think
you're
it's peer
raised
pressure.
around.
I think if everybody's getting something, and you're going to get something too. They just kind of you become what you surround yourself with. It's pretty
Yeah.
much that way. You guys are all into music because you guys hung around music your whole life. You were influenced by music, so you became musicians. Same thing with Davin. I was always around as a little boy. I was around business people my whole life. Being Jewish, everybody in my temple they were either lawyers, doctors, or business owners. So all I ever knew as a little boy growing up, well, I'm going to be a business guy,
Right.
and it's just crazy. But so you become
A business guy.
who you surround yourself
who you
with,
surround yourself
right or
with.
wrong.
Yeah.
Right, 100% right.
I don't know what happened to you though.
I know. I'm crazy.
You are crazy. I'm crazy too. We're all crazy.
We are all crazy. Bobby's the most crazy though.
Bobby is the craziest.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know, man. I didn't know.
So I'll pass it over to Nick, but I'll like set him up for it. So like one thing that I know people say you for would be like you smoke.
Yeah.
You know, you smoke weed, and like in today's day and age, it's not like that's not a big deal. Like you can walk down the street.
How many states have like legal medical marijuana now?
Not a lot, but it's a few. I think it's like 20.
Medical. There's like almost 30.
30 states.
Recreational,
So-
there's only about 15.
But think about those states. You're probably not going to get in trouble
No,
too much if you're
no.
smoking pot, right? So I mean, more or less, it's becoming okay to do
It's
it.
become more localized.
Okay.
The bill to get it.
Is that a good thing?
I mean, if you don't want to get in trouble, yeah.
No. Well, okay. Is it a good thing to smoke marijuana?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic. I mean,
But I've read articles that it's really bad for you as far as your health.
I think it depends.
Like anything in the lungs, it's anything in the lungs up air is not good for you.
well,
What do
yeah,
you guys
it
think
depends
about that?
on your intake, but there's also like a lot of benefits to it. Like, for example, like there's a lot of ways that you can get extracts from marijuana, and you can, help. It's helpful. So it
Well,
just
tell me
depends
how
on
it's
you-
helpful.
So I mean, for example,
No, I'm just curious.
For example,
I
like,
don't smoke it.
like children.
I did when I was in high school.
Children that have like seizures and stuff like that, like
Okay.
when they're given like CBD extracts and different things like that, it helps like calm different.
But
stuff
smoking.
like
But
that.
let's talk about smoking
yeah, like-
marijuana on a recreational basis.
like,
What are the
as far
advantages
as
of it?
smoking
Or
it-
as on a medical basis, what's the advantage?
I mean, it's just if you smoke it, I guess medical advantage just depends on your ailment, really, or what you have.
Is it a
like, what's wrong with
tranquilizing
you.
effect? Is it a euphoric effect?
Depends on the
is it
person.
It depends on the
It's,
person.
it just depends on the strain, honestly. Like, cause there's certain strains, like some that will make you feel energetic, or some that will make you feel more like euphoric,
Chill.
or in a different like mood. So, like the plant, it can just it has like different effects in different ways.
How does it
Like,
compare to say alcohol high?
It's different. Like alcohol, you may be like more incoherent and like not like aware. When you smoke, you may be like more like focused on something,
Focused.
or you may think more. You may
I see.
you think a lot more. I feel like.
See,
Some
I can,
creative minds love to smoke marijuana.
I got
see,
it.
I can put in on that part for the
Yeah,
simple
go
fact
ahead,
that
Bob.
I drink more than anything, honestly. I rather drink before I smoke weed or before anything, honestly.
What does it
And
do? What are the benefits for you for drinking?
for me, like with me having a higher tolerance, or my mind is already focused on what I'm focused on. It's like once I drink, it just strengthens like mentally at times. I'm gonna put that out there at times because I know for a fact I could stray away from where I was supposed to be going at the time, but I can sit back and just chill, vibe.
So
I
it's,
won't
it's a
be-
relaxing effect.
Yeah, it's a relaxing effect for me,
Okay.
and it helps me.
How does it compare to say taking Valium or Ativan or
Never took them.
They don't. I don't know. Have you ever taken them?
I have taken Ativan.
No, I've
and
never
Valium.
taken
My-
You and I are the only
yeah,
people
we've
that-
taken them.
Yeah, we
and
only
it's a
know.
calming thing. Like I talk about, we used to have problems
Is that
getting on
like
airplanes, and I would
ADHD
take.
med or something?
It's
Oh, yeah.
pretty Valium and like Ativan's
It
kind
calms
of
you right down,
less.
boy.
You wanna know what's-
So probably something similar.
You want to know what's crazy though? Like with me, when it come down to drinking, I could sit back and come up with more stuff mentally to
Okay.
put out on.
So it helps you be creative.
it helps me.
Okay,
it
I
helps
got
me
you.
be
I got
creative.
you. I got you.
And I think
Now, what's the downside to drinking? Physically, what's the downside?
I get sleepy.
You get sleepy.
That's it. I have no problems because I know how to control myself. it's more of a mind thing when it comes down to it. A lot of people let the alcohol abuse them. The alcohol drinks them when it comes down to it. They don't drink the alcohol. The alcohol drinks
That's
them.
a good way to put it.
Yeah,
I've never heard it like that.
And man, it's like when I drink, like say for instance, nah, beat that. Like I've been drinking, y'all wouldn't know. It's been plenty of times like I've came around you guys, I might be loaded whole time. You wouldn't know because I've got that.
You've got a high tolerance.
I got a high tolerance and I know how to handle my alcohol. I know where to stop. I know when it's too much, this and that. And when I know that I had too much, before I start acting a fool and all that, I'll go to sleep.
So here's a question. Why are people so judgmental of people that smoke marijuana or that drink? Why are people so judgmental of that?
I don't know.
I think
I like weed smoking. Like,
yeah, but why are other people so critical of it?
Because they don't find the urge to want to do it.
I think
they haven't tried it.
I think it's just like a lot of like
Commercials.
any judgment is like based off like the media images and stuff like that nowadays. Like before you know somebody, like you're not like quick to judge them like before all like the internet and stuff. But like now that everybody's like grouped into a certain group, like weed smokers are all dumb and eat and don't think and do stupid stuff, or people who drink just party and stay out all night, or like, you know.
So you think media has
it kind of groups you into one lump of what you are.
Social media or like video, like any kind of media. Then
pretty much anything now. Like if you're like, or if you're,
advertising,
whatever like your sexual orientation is, they'll group you in and like that. Like
how does that all work? Like why are people so critical of homosexuality or of a woman who's a lesbian or a guy that wants to? I've got a mailman who, well, he's not a mailman, he's a male woman now. And you know people are going to be critical of this person. I catch myself saying, "Hey, how you doing, man?" And he says, "Hey, I understand, Ron." He said, "Don't worry about it." He says, they have to actually go through counseling for this kind of stuff, you know."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, why are people so judgmental about people that are changing their? If he feels that comfortable, there's no way he's going to go through that operation that he had to go through, where they cut off his penis, create a vagina. Has to grow boobs, has to get to go through classes to raise his voice, and on and on and on and on and on. If he wasn't serious about the idea that he felt like a woman. So people can say, "Oh, that's crazy." No, it's not crazy. People, that's who they are.
See, me personally,
am I right or wrong?
You're right.
No,
you're right. And me personally, I don't have nothing against none of that. Only because I had an uncle. He passed last summer. He was killed out in Dallas. He was transsexual and.
So he was born a man, he became a woman.
No, he was born a man, stayed a man, but wanted to be a woman.
Wanted to be a woman.
To the fullest extent.
Okay, I got you.
And
did he go through an operation or he'd wanted to, but it didn't happen?
Yeah, he wanted to, but it didn't happen.
Okay.
So he just lived his life how he was. And it's like I've been around him my whole life, man. It's like I couldn't judge. Like, if it was a man right here, okay. Long as you know your boundaries, that's cool with me.
Well, as long as they don't come on to us, right?
Yeah.
Like we're heterosexual.
Yeah.
So that's cool too. But I mean, if a homosexual comes on to me, that's not cool to me. I'll be cordial, but I mean, I got to make it real clear real quick.
Do you feel compliment, or are you just like?
Well, it's a compliment, I suspect.
Like,
I have friends that are homosexuals, and they like to really be chatty and they like to hang around. I'm thinking, man, but it's not my trip, but I get it. I mean, I understand it. And I'm not going to be negative and I'm not going to be judgmental. People need to chill the F out. And quit being so effing judgmental. I mean, really. It gets old, man. It gets really, really old.
You're right. You are 100%
That's why I wanted to do
right.
the podcast about this today. We'll probably do more along these lines because I think it's a big problem. I have friends that are so judgmental. Like, chill out, man. Yeah. Live and let live, right or wrong.
Dead serious.
Especially when those judgmental people say if they did something and you judge them for it, they're like, "Don't judge me, blah, 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 blah." But yet they judge others.
Hypocritical.
Exactly. Just saying.
Yeah.
And that's
I know why you're looking at me.
And that's the biggest thing that's going on right now, honestly, when it comes down to it. It's more like say for instance, we were to put in like a race perspective. Like the fact that everybody feels like every white cop is against black folks.
Right.
It's all grouped
And
up.
So there again, the press is ginning that up a lot.
Yeah, man. And
I bet the numbers are fairly low. I mean, I'm not saying they're perfect,
Yeah,
Because
man.
we know there's a lot of discrimination when it comes to that.
Oh yeah, man. And that's overboard at a certain extent, man. I really feel like racism is carried on just off judgment at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
again, it's the environment that
yeah.
you were raised in. So like, say the people that are, in between like my parents' age, like what would be like your kids, Ron, like your age group was taught, black people are gangsters and thugs and don't like the police, and you weren't necessarily taught that, but your generation
Right,
was.
the generation.
And then that gets pulled down to like our parents.
Mm-hmm.
There were some outliers like my mother, for instance. She's Caucasian, but she enjoys like black men. So that's how I came about. That's how I came about. So either way, like, all of it gets passed down. So then now, like, a lot of people our age are very like, very accepting because they've learned like.
But it's interesting because you got to think like, in the next few years, like there's so many people like into like crossbreeding, like eventually everybody's gonna be like of some type of mix. So it's gonna be like it's gonna be hard to be racist, but people will still find something to be racist about. So
Exactly.
it's crazy.
There's gonna be
Like,
something.
Well, I think it
Yeah.
comes back to what I said earlier. I think people feel the need to be critical of others because it makes them feel better about themselves. It's no different whether it's black, whether it's Jew, whether it's, transgenders or transsexuals or anything that's different than the norm to their norm. They can find reason to be critical of. I said that they can. People there's a lot of people that have this problem of being judgmental.
Facts.
And I say this to say that. I say that to say this. You need to focus on yourself.
Yep.
I spend a good portion of my day every day trying to figure out who I am, why I have arrived at this way, why I have arrived as this person, and what I could do to improve myself as a person. Forget about money and physicality and all that stuff. Just as a human being, what do I need to do to make my life better and to help other people to improve their life? That's the reason I'm doing the podcast. It's not about money. We're not making a profit. We're doing this to help people, to encourage, to influence, to set an example. You get the idea.
Yeah.
So I sound repetitious sometimes, but I think that's important. What's the saying about repetition creates? Well, if you do something enough times, what happens?
You get it. Like
You get it, right? Whether it's sports or whether it's like in jiu-jitsu, we talk about repetition. If you do the same technique over and over again, you're going to get to where it's muscle memory.
Yeah. Same with
So,
like music.
Same thing with music.
Yep. These guys have been doing it for a long time. So now, like,
Second nature.
exactly. They just get in there and they do it.
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. We do that.
So look, everybody, you need to focus on yourself. Don't worry about other people.
Yeah.
If somebody comes to you and you've got a talent that they want to learn and you're good at it, mentor them. That's a powerful thing, man. Everybody needs mentorship. You guys are getting mentorship with Davin with your music. It's powerful.
They're mentoring me too.
Well, they're mentoring
Yeah.
you too. It works both ways.
And like that was something you brought up a good point. So usually like when someone judges another person, it's because they're lower than them, or
they have that feeling one way or another that
exactly.
that person has something going on in their life that's better than what their self got going
Exactly.
on. Yeah.
Then it also comes back to like, say you're the big producer and I'm asking you a question, but you're judging me, you're judgmental of me because I have a question and I want to learn, but yet you were in my same position at one point in time,
Yeah.
like, so I think it goes both ways, and like, everyone judges in a way.
Well,
It's
I think
just
it's
harder-
human nature to judge,
Right.
but not to do it. You shouldn't do it in a way that's
I
hurtful
agree.
to others.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think
If you want to
it's-
have your own opinions, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's sometimes even just based off image too. Like when you see somebody like first impression, you kind of judge them based off how they look or, something like that.
That's
So
another interesting topic.
it's usually
Like how men are attracted to women or vice versa. Usually it's looks originally.
right,
That has
right.
been my biggest problem. My whole
But then
life.
what happens?
Yeah.
Then tell me what happens later.
You learn about them.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
what
yeah.
happens?
Shit, bad shit, everything.
Okay, now let's
Bad shit.
let's capitalize on that statement. Bad shit. Here's what I think happens. This is my opinion. Opinions are like noses. Everybody's got one.
Opinions are like assholes.
Like assholes.
Everyone's got one.
So here's my opinion about that. So we're let's just talk about men being attracted to women. So we see a good-looking woman, sexually attracted, and we go for them. And the next thing you know, you're connected, you're hooked up, you're dating, you're good. But what happens? It seems like to me, if the relationship is not based on respect. Now let's talk about what respect really is. It's about admiration for another person, for who they are as a human being. Yeah. If you respect your mother, I know you do.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
But we seldom, as men, I think, look for that in a mate. We're looking for a hot chick. Yeah. We're looking for a hot chick that we want to sleep with, that we want to. I mean, that's just human nature. But what happens eventually, that wanes. They said the 7-year itch. Have you ever heard that? After 7 years, they've studied this. I've read these crazy studies. After 7 years, the brain loses its interest in that person sexually. So then you wind up with this thing where I've studied these studies where, like, when you first date somebody, you're making love every night, every second night. And then it gets to where it's once a week, then once a month, and once every few. I mean, it just gets crazier down the line where it's less and less and less and less and less. Now, I'm not saying it should all be about romance, but what other thing that happens, I think, is you find so much fault in this other person. Now, all of a sudden, you're thinking, why am I hooked up here after 10? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Versus if you would find a mate that you really thought respected, I think the chances of that relationship lasting would be dramatically better. But, full circle, back to men. We're men, so we don't really find those women that attractive. Because most of those women are probably kind of boring.
The respectable women.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is kind of crazy, isn't
crazy,
it? Now,
yeah.
from my perspective, here's me. I don't want to.
We're digging a ditch here. We're digging a ditch here.
I know, but you know what? This is my podcast.
You're right. You're right.
So here's the deal.
We're gonna end up in a doghouse.
We may. But you know what? I think it's tough, man. Look, relationships are tough. Look, 70% divorce rate, 65 maybe. And of the 30% that's left, they say only about maybe 5 or 10% of those guys really get along. So I'm looking at these numbers, and I'm thinking, do I want to engage in this process? I have a lot of female friends, like just buddies, and I love being around. They're fun, they're interesting,
buddies.
but I'm not having sex with them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Right. So to me, that's the better formula. And then if you need sex, you just buy it.
Yeah.
Because there's women out there. Listen. I mean, it's practical. There's a lot of women that need to make money.
Yeah.
Digging a hole.
And if you really want to just,
hole.
Satisfy that need that you have as a man, that's just simpler.
I mean, that would make sense if you want to avoid the connection.
Confrontation.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, you're going to have connections with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You don't have to have sex to have a connection.
Yeah.
That's a bad argument, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can have plenty of good connections with plenty of women without having sex with them.
But he's talking like a romantic connection.
No, you know what the real deal is?
Or like an
emotional
emotional too.
Deal. God programmed us this way to have children.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we connect, because the population, so the population never dies.
Yeah.
That's God's best invention ever was sex.
Yeah.
That's really what
it's crazy. But
It
after
really
that,
was.
it goes to heck in a
It really
handbasket.
was.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love it.
Not always, but most of the time, in my opinion. My parents
love
were married 50 years, argued every single day.
Yeah.
I don't want to live like that.
So
I'm sorry.
So it sounds like we just meant to create and then go our separate ways.
We're animals, man.
Yeah,
People
all
think
right.
with it.
He said, "All right."
Hey, that's what it sounds like.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
There's some getting used to, man. Because I've seen a lot of stories where a lot of people can be married for umpteen, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they argue constantly.
Thank you.
For a lot of years. But watch this, though. They argue for a majority of these years, it'd be fights after fights after fights. But when it come down to the point of time where everything is all boiling down, say for instance, the lady might catch cancer or something, and the love between them two reunites like they were 17 years old again.
That's possible.
And I've seen.
But I don't want to spend a whole lifetime of hell just for one moment of satisfaction. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Somebody said the other day to me, Ron, for 15 seconds of satisfaction, I had to go through 9 months of hell to carry this baby. This is what a woman told me. I mean, I'm just talking out loud, guys.
15 seconds?
Bobby and I are on a different trip than that. We don't think like that. But I'm telling you what, the average guy is only doing sex for 5 minutes at a time. I'm sorry. That's not me. That's not Bobby. But you know what? A lot of people are like that. That's another reason why I think people get married, because they don't have that sex drive. If a guy's really fit and healthy and focused, he's probably going to have a much bigger sex drive for a lot longer than the average guy. But the average guy doesn't care. So he just gets hooked up and doesn't. And the woman sure doesn't care.
Yeah.
Most women are not that interested. They only do it for one reason: to get the man hooked. You know what a woman really wants?
Money
and security.
Yeah.
Physical security and money. Am I right or wrong?
Are you right?
And I love
We're
women.
not women,
I
so
love
we
women.
don't know.
I love women.
We are not women, so we don't
Is
know.
that-
Don't
is that
take it
what
the
y'all-
wrong way.
is that what
but I'm
y'all
just saying.
want?
You got to think
Like-
about it like this. When it comes down to it, a man won't be respected in a relationship if he's not bringing nothing to the
Yeah,
table.
like
Well,
if you're
yeah,
not
I
bringing-
agree. I'm just saying.
So that right there, that's going off the money.
all relationships,
boom.
bro. Yeah, like
That's just off the man though. They could care less if they're bringing in any money.
Well,
Like
but
a
what
lot
if
of
your-
women.
What if your woman brings in twice as much as you, though?
Then you're a lucky
she's
man.
probably
Then you're a lucky man.
She might not
Dead
even want to
serious.
be with
You're
you
a
at
lucky
that
man.
point. Like she probably is like.
And I would go anywhere if that was the case.
Yeah,
Exactly.
If you're lucky, like, but honestly, like all relationships are like somewhat financial. Like nobody can tell me they're like married and like it's not financial based because like. Why would you marry somebody that has like nothing? Like, why would you?
That's
wanna
a
be
bunch
like,
of-
Why would you just want to be like? Why would you just want to be like unhappy and just like marry?
It's a
Okay, how about this statement?
The hobo
How about
couples.
this? How about it? Behind every good man, there's what is it? Behind every successful man, there's
Is a strong woman.
a strong
Yeah.
woman. What do you guys think about that statement?
No. Don't get me started on this. I can't talk about this.
I don't think that's
I can't-
100% true.
I can't talk about this.
So you're in my court. You're in my court. How about you, Bobby?
I'm with you.
Damn, we're all in unison. We're all in agreement.
I don't think Bobby understands. We're saying that it's not true.
I
We're
know.
saying it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, he
I'm
said-
trying not to
Are
dig
there-
this ditch, bro.
Are there exceptions? Yes.
Yes, there are exceptions.
Yes.
But I think
yes.
I think it's a small percentage.
Well, I think it's the opposite. So I think I think it's true, but I think the exceptions are like the hardworking men that don't need a woman necessarily.
The ambitious guy, the guy
Exactly.
that's seeking to be accomplished, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. Because what if I told you I'm gonna
Yes,
do whatever I want?
yes.
It doesn't
What if
matter
I told
who's there.
So we're on the same page.
You got to
So
think about it like this.
I wished
too.
it wasn't like this, but go ahead.
You got to think about it like this too. Say, for instance, you get with a woman. What about this? You get with a woman. You go to dinner with her. No, take that back. You get with a woman and she invites you to have dinner with her and her parents. What is the first thing the parents are going to ask you?
What do you do?
Yeah,
What do you do for a
They're
living?
looking for the money.
If you can't provide, you can't be with her.
Yeah, good point.
type shit.
I should say I make beats for fun.
Well, we're getting off track a little bit, but not really, because now we're being judgmental. But I don't think it's being judgmental as much as we're being practical, because we're all very
Like
ambitious.
it's
men.
real like life. Like
Yeah.
that's true. Like they don't want you thinking no money. You gotta
I think
have
there's a
some
difference
money.
between
Where's
being
your money at, you know?
judgmental
It's
and
money,
analyzing
yeah.
things to the fact. You know,
It's not about being happy no more, man.
Well, you got to find
Yeah.
happiness within yourself. You can't seek happiness outside of yourself. When you do, that's when you get disappointed. That's when you get depressed and discouraged.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to be happy with yourself. That's why I say to you, my friends, and the audience out there, you have to focus every day on your own shit and get your own life right. Be happy with yourself. Then anything else that comes along is it's bonus. But I spend every day thinking this to myself. I've been screwed around enough times in my life that I know I can count on one person, me. If I have other people in my life like a Davin or you guys, that's bonus. But I don't expect it. That's where I'm different than a lot of people. And I'm not cynical. I'm just a realist.
Yeah.
I've learned I lay my head down at night, you know what I think to myself? Man, what have I accomplished today? Hey, I was able to get up. I was able to run my company. I was able to do my fitness. I was able to build and help my business to grow. I was able to help my friends to see their goals become reality. You know what? It was a pretty damn good day. I feel really damn good about myself. I'm going to go to sleep and wake up in the morning. I'm ready to go again. Accomplishment is the drug, man. I'm telling you. Accomplishment is the drug.
Yeah.
Not necessarily getting it done, but the process of getting to it. You can be just as proud if you're on the track. You don't have to physically get there. But when you do get there, it's even more exciting. Yeah. And then you set another goal. Then you reach that goal, you set another goal. You reach that goal, you set another goal. It ain't rocket science.
Nope.
But you know what most men do? They're looking for pleasure and satisfaction with drugs and alcohol, women, gambling, porn. I'm not being negative. I'm just analyzing.
No, yeah, it's true.
All that stuff's cool, but it should be bonus. It should not be the reason that you're satisfied every day with your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now. I'll let you guys talk.
No,
No,
but
you're
it
good.
makes sense though. Yeah, for sure.
We're at time. Do you want to run an ad?
Oh yeah, let's talk about the sponsor. We have a couple sponsors today.
Okay.
America's Same Day Service
Mm.
is our parent corporation, more or less. And we are a nationwide home repair service. We do heating, cooling, plumbing, appliance, electrical, handyman, just to name a few, automotive repair in some markets. So if you go to samedayservice.com, there's a place to place an order and type it in, and then we will respond. If we're not in your market or your city, then we'll let you know right away. And if we are, then we can respond and send a technician to your home or to your home or your business. Also, Soar High Records is one of our sponsors. These gentlemen.
Soar High Records.
Soar High Records.
was gonna
Is
say
our Davin's our producer. These are two artists in our organization, and boy, you can go to our website, Soar High Records. You can go to our YouTube channel, and you can listen to our music and learn more about us, and so forth and so on.
They're on all streaming platforms everywhere.
Yes.
Bobby's EP is almost done. We're
Yes.
getting that out. It'll be out next month.
Calico.
Calico. Nick has a show tomorrow night. We have a show July 2nd. We have a show July 30th. Lots of things.
Lots of things going
Lots
on.
of things.
So that's the advertisement for
Perfect.
today. And we appreciate everybody listening to Soar High Personal Development. We also have a website and a YouTube channel where you can listen and watch our podcasts.
Those are also on every platform to stream as well.
Yes. Anybody have any last words before we close out?
Soar High Records.
We'll start.
Don't everybody speak at the same
We'll
time.
start with Nick. We'll start with Nick. You got like just a little last anything to put in?
Yeah, just be nice to people. Stop judging
I
everybody.
like that.
That's good. That's good. Bobby, what do you have?
Man, life's a box of chocolates. It's what you make of it, man.
I like it, man. That's
true.
good.
That's
Man,
true.
For
I like it.
real.
I think, Nick kind of hit it on the head. Like, quit judging people so hard, like everybody's been in a position before, sometimes you got to put yourself in in another person's shoes to really feel like what they're going through.
Yes.
So you can't judge a book by its cover,
Mhm.
but I think what we talked about tonight was really good.
Cool beans, cold chicken,
Cool beans.
Hot
hot
tamales.
tamales. Just remember, guys, if you don't give up, the stars will line up. So until next time, stay positive.